My beloved souls, have you ever wondered how long it takes for the truth to break free from the shadows? How many twists and turns must occur before the lies finally unravel? Today, I bring you a moment of revelation that answers these questions and offers hope for all who have stood firm in faith. The call came at dawn, your trusted confidant on the other end of the line, voice steady with resolve. It's done. The lawyer broke under questioning. They've confessed to everything. For years, you've been facing a carefully orchestrated deception aimed at undermining your rightful position. But today, the truth has come into the light. The attorney who represented your adversaries has admitted to the conspiracy, the falsified evidence, the manipulation of facts in their desperate attempt to bring you down. Justice is no longer a distant hope. It is now in motion. The court has been notified, and the documents that reveal the full extent of their scheme are now being processed as official evidence. The subpoena is being prepared, not for you, but for those who plotted against you. When the official notice arrives at their doorstep, it will be the culmination of your patience, persistence, and unwavering belief in the truth. The truth you've known all along is now coming to light, and vindication is on the horizon. I want to take this opportunity to express my deepest gratitude to each and every one of you who has supported this journey through your donations via Super Thanks. Your generosity, whether through your financial support or simply by being present and engaging with the message, means the world. Every donation, no matter how big or small, contributes to the growth of this community and to the continued push for truth. You are playing a crucial role in bringing this process to its rightful conclusion, and for that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. God loves a cheerful giver. 2 Corinthians 9:7. Your support, whether monetary or through your encouragement, has been an essential part of this journey, and I am beyond grateful for each and every one of you who have chosen to stand with me. I know that many of you have been following this journey closely and feel the momentum building. Now, I want to hear from you. Let's unite and affirm our collective strength and belief in justice. Drop the number 777 in the comments if you are ready to see this journey reach its victorious end, where truth is fully revealed and justice is served. This is a powerful moment in our shared story, and I want to know that you're with me every step of the way. Whether you've been here from the beginning or just joined us, your presence and your participation matter deeply. Let's flood the comments with 777 to mark this turning point and to send a clear message that we are standing together in the light of truth. May your continued support and engagement bring even more power to the truth that is unfolding. Thank you once again for being part of this journey. The best is yet to come, and together we will walk this path until justice is fully realized. God's chosen ones expect a subpoena. The lawyer has confessed to everything. Chosen ones, have you ever stopped to consider how betrayal can hide behind the faces of those you trust the most? What if, in the quietest corners of your family, a conspiracy was born, designed to rob you of your rightful inheritance and assets? This is no mere misunderstanding or accidental legal oversight. The confession of the lawyer has peeled back the layers, revealing a sophisticated web of deceit that has been meticulously constructed around you for years. How do you cope when you realize those closest to you were the architects of your misfortune? In this betrayal, family members whom you once trusted have conspired with legal professionals, weaving a false narrative to manipulate the legal system against you. How far do you think people would go to achieve their own ends, even when it means betraying the very people they love? The documents now in the hands of the court show a deliberate and calculated effort to strip you of what is rightfully yours. This isn't just a matter of lost paperwork. It's a years-long campaign, carefully orchestrated by those who should have protected you. For nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest, nor is anything secret that will not be known and come to light. Luke 8:17. Can you see how even the darkest plans will eventually come to light? Think about the case of Martha Stewart, a woman whose reputation was shattered by accusations of insider trading. Though the legal battle against her seemed insurmountable, Stewart's resilience led her to clear her name, proving that truth can overcome the most sophisticated deceptions. Just as the documents and confessions in your case are revealing the truth, Martha's fight serves as a reminder that no amount of manipulation can conceal the truth forever. Her story, like yours, shows that even the most carefully crafted conspiracies can be undone by perseverance. But this betrayal wasn't just about hidden documents or missing filings. It was a calculated attempt to seize control of your life. Family members, posing as concerned relatives, presented themselves in court with tears and emotions carefully timed to manipulate the system. They painted you as someone incapable of managing their affairs, presenting false medical assessments and fabricating incidents to support their narrative. How many times have you encountered people who pretend to care, only to later reveal their true intentions? The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately sick. Who can understand it? Jeremiah 17:9. Do you see how deceit is often masked by false appearances? Richard Nixon faced a similar struggle during the Watergate scandal, where a web of lies and betrayal threatened to ruin his presidency. Just as Nixon's carefully constructed narrative fell apart under scrutiny, so too will the false claims against you unravel as the truth comes forward. Nixon's story is a cautionary tale of how power and lies can create an illusion of invulnerability, but in the end, truth has a way of exposing the darkness. For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. This verse reflects how the world may see one thing, but God always sees the truth beneath the surface. At the heart of this conspiracy was the attempt to gain power over your affairs. The family's deceitful act was carefully staged, with tears shed at just the right moments and voices breaking under the guise of concern. But what they failed to realize was that the truth would eventually come to light. Have you ever faced someone's false portrayal of your life and yet knew deep down that their lies could not define you? Martin Luther King Jr. faced relentless attacks from those who sought to undermine his message of justice. Despite the many lies spread about him, he remained steadfast in his pursuit of truth. Just as King's unwavering commitment to justice and truth led to his enduring legacy, so too will your clarity and resilience ensure that the falsehoods against you are exposed. His life serves as a beacon of hope for all those who face unjust accusations and betrayals. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. King's words resonate now more than ever, in your case as the web of lies is unraveled. The lawyer's confession has torn down the house of cards built by those who sought to manipulate you. They misjudged your resilience and underestimated the clarity of your mind. Can you feel the weight lifting as the truth unfolds? For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. This is not the end for you, but the beginning of your victory. With the truth now exposed, justice will follow. The deception will fall apart, and what was taken from you will be returned. Just as it happened for those who stood before you, the truth will set you free. In the end, what matters most is how you choose to rise above the betrayal and deception. Will you allow these lies to define your future, or will you, like these great individuals, rise up and reclaim what is rightfully yours? The time has come for the chosen ones to stand firm and for justice to prevail. Chosen one, have you ever wondered how the truth can begin to reveal itself, even when others try to bury it beneath layers of lies and deceit? The evidence they presented, once deemed foolproof, has begun to unravel under careful scrutiny. Medical experts have raised doubts about the accuracy of their assessments. Witnesses they relied on have started to waver, their testimony faltering under pressure. Documents that were altered to fit their narrative have shown inconsistencies when examined by forensic specialists. Have you ever felt that sense of unease when something doesn't seem quite right, yet no one around you acknowledges it? It's in moments like these that the truth begins to come to light. The lawyer's confession has been the key that unlocked the truth. It exposed the full extent of the conspiracy, a deliberate effort to manipulate the legal system and strip you of your rights. Their plot, once hidden behind layers of false medical records and coach testimonies, has now been revealed as a criminal conspiracy designed to gain power of attorney over your affairs. How many times have we seen people manipulate the system, twisting the truth to serve their own ends? For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are opened against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue. Psalm 109:2. These actions, meant to deceive and control, are now exposed for what they truly are: attempts to steal your voice, your power, and your future. Oprah Winfrey, a figure who rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most influential people in the world, once found herself facing a public scandal in her early career. False accusations and manipulations were spread to tarnish her reputation. Yet she did not let these falsehoods define her. Like you, Oprah was faced with a situation that could have destroyed her, but through resilience and the pursuit of truth, she overcame it, showing that no amount of deception can suppress the power of the truth. The truth will set you free, John 8:32, is a mantra that has guided her through many trials, and it resonates deeply with your own journey toward justice. This conspiracy was not the work of a single individual. No, this grand scheme involved a disturbing alliance: family members, legal professionals, and even court officials who compromised their integrity to serve their own interests. How often do we place our trust in people only to find that their loyalty was never to us, but to their own ambitions? But the wicked are like the troubled sea when it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt. Isaiah 57:20. These individuals who once seemed trustworthy played their roles in the shadows, but now the light of truth exposes their true intentions. Imagine, if you will, the family gatherings they presented as concerned meetings. These were not discussions about your well-being, but strategy sessions to plan their next move. Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group, had to face similar manipulations throughout his business career. As he built his empire, there were those who tried to undermine his efforts with lies and deception. But Branson, like you, did not back down. Instead, he found a way to turn the tables on those who sought to undermine him. Just as these family meetings were designed to plot against you, Branson's story teaches us that no matter the conspiracy, resilience and focus on the truth always prevail. The lawyer's confession has revealed the chilling detail of how roles were assigned, narratives aligned, and contingency plans were developed should their scheme ever be questioned. Have you ever felt like you were being watched, or that your every move was being scrutinized by those who had no business controlling your life? This careful orchestration was designed to keep you isolated from those who might have been able to expose the truth, those who could have supported you, who could have stood by your side. But now that isolation has crumbled, and the world sees the truth. Martin Luther King Jr. faced similar efforts to undermine his mission and isolate him from his supporters. Time and again, those in power tried to turn public opinion against him and his cause. But King's resilience in the face of adversity and his unwavering commitment to truth allowed him to continue his fight for justice. His story reminds us that no conspiracy, no matter how meticulously planned, can ultimately stand against the power of truth and righteousness. Your future is still in your hands, and the truth, no matter how long it takes, will set you free. Chosen. 1. The paper trail that they believed was buried beyond reach is now undeniable, revealing truths that they desperately hoped would remain hidden. Financial transactions between family members and legal professionals, far beyond what is considered normal for professional fees, are now laid bare. These transactions weren't just about paying for legal services. They were deliberate payments made to ensure that the scheme continued, to hide the truth and to keep you from your rightful inheritance. The trail they believed would never be found has now exposed their intentions for all to see. In addition to the financial deceit, communications that were once thought secure are now being uncovered. Emails, text messages, and even handwritten notes that were meant to be destroyed or hidden have surfaced. The very documents they thought were safe and their manipulations carefully concealed have been unearthed, showing exactly how they altered, fabricated, and interpreted these records to fit their narrative. How many times have we all been led to believe that a secret could be buried, only to find that truth has a way of finding its way to the surface, no matter how hard one tries to suppress it? For the Lord knows the ways of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. Psalm 1:6. Even their most careful plans couldn't prevent the truth from emerging. Perhaps the most disturbing element of this discovery lies in the revelations about the corrupt relationships between your family members and certain court officials. These were not simple professional connections or innocent acquaintances. They were calculated alliances formed with a specific malicious purpose: to bypass justice and manipulate the legal system in their favor. Have you ever felt as though those you trusted had turned against you, colluding with others to secure their own gain? The very system that should have protected your rights was used to betray you, and now it is being dismantled piece by piece. These were not casual connections. They were carefully formed partnerships designed to circumvent everything you hold dear. The web they wove was meant to control your assets, your life, and your future. But as it is written, for nothing is impossible with God. Luke 1:37. Their conspiracy, no matter how deeply rooted, is no match for the power of truth. In a world where digital footprints can be hidden with the press of a button, what these conspirators never anticipated is the permanence of information in the digital age. Emails they thought were deleted have been recovered. Text messages between conspirators, once believed to be securely erased, remain preserved in server backups. Even financial transactions, once disguised under false pretenses, have left a clear and unmistakable trail that forensic accountants have now painstakingly reconstructed. Have you ever thought that something was buried so deep that it could never be found, only to discover that the truth always resurfaces in unexpected ways? These records, thought to be hidden forever, now serve as undeniable evidence of the scheme against you. The conspirators believed they had constructed an impenetrable wall around you, isolating you from those who could offer support, from the information that could help you uncover the truth, and from justice itself. They believed their network of lies would shield them from discovery. But just as walls built on deceit are destined to fall, this one too is crumbling under the weight of the truth. Have you ever felt like you were trapped with no way out, only to find that the very things that once seemed insurmountable were simply stepping stones to your ultimate freedom? Their attempt to isolate you from the truth was in vain. This network of collaborators was more extensive than anyone realized. Just like the case of Martha Stewart, who faced public backlash and legal battles over insider trading accusations, These conspirators thought their deception was airtight. Stuart was surrounded by those who tried to tear her down, yet she rose above the false claims, revealing the truth with resilience and determination. She proved that no amount of deceit could suppress the power of truth, and that justice, though delayed, would ultimately prevail. Like her, you too are now seeing the evidence unfold, and the walls of deception begin to collapse. At the core of this conspiracy, the true motivation behind these orchestrated efforts becomes clearer: hidden inheritance and assets that were deliberately kept from you. What these conspirators did not anticipate was the depth of your rights or the value of what they sought to control. They believed this wasn't simply about property or assets that were easily dismissed, but that the inheritance at stake was one of great significance. This wasn't about small gains. It was about a future that they were determined to secure for themselves, even if it meant stealing from you. They wanted to keep this wealth from you and from the courts, believing they could bury the truth and claim what was rightfully yours. This inheritance was never theirs to take. It was always meant for you. Richard Nixon, once thought to be beyond reproach, learned the devastating consequences of such deception during the Watergate scandal. His presidency crumbled as the truth of the conspiracies within his own administration was uncovered. Just as Nixon's false narrative was shattered by the undeniable truth, so too will the conspiracy against you fall apart as more evidence comes to light. Nixon's story is a powerful reminder that no matter how deeply entrenched the lies may be, the truth has a way of emerging and claiming victory. Your story will follow a similar path, a path toward the revelation of truth and the reclamation of what is rightfully yours. As the paper trail continues to unfold, the lies they crafted will lose their power. The conspirators believed they had created an impenetrable wall, but the truth is now tearing it down. You are on the precipice of reclaiming what was stolen from you, and as you stand on this threshold, remember, do not be deceived. God is not mocked, for whatever one sows, that will he also reap. Galatians 6:7. Your justice is unfolding, and the walls they built to separate you from your rightful inheritance are collapsing, just as they always do when built on deception. Chosen one, have you ever thought about how deep the layers of deception can go, especially when they are hidden behind the people you trust? The lawyer's confession has uncovered concealed bank accounts, both domestic and offshore, where assets that should have been yours were stashed away. Trust funds never disclosed during legal proceedings have now surfaced, along with property holdings, investment portfolios, and business interests that were deliberately kept off the official records. These weren't just assets, some were part of a family legacy that should have been shared. How many times have you wondered about what should be yours, only to have it withheld? The earth is the Lord's, and everything in it, the world, and all who live in it. Psalm 24:1. What was hidden from you is now being brought to light, as everything belongs to God, and the time for truth is here. These assets represent far more than simple financial holdings. They are investments, properties, and businesses that could have benefited all family members, but were kept under the control of a select few. Some trace back through generations, a family legacy built over time, while others come from business ventures meant to be shared by all. Can you imagine the hurt of knowing that wealth meant to be shared with you was kept hidden, leaving you in the dark? Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. Matthew 6:19. These hidden treasures were meant to be yours, but God will reveal them to you. The lawyer's confession also brings to light the elaborate measures that were taken to keep these assets hidden. Shell companies were created to obscure ownership, and funds were funneled through multiple accounts to disguise their origin and destination. Legal structures were designed specifically to create confusion and prevent clear ownership from being established. Have you ever found yourself facing a maze of lies, only to realize that the truth is still within reach? Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Proverbs 4:7. The wisdom to see through these deceptions is now unfolding before you, and with understanding you will uncover the full truth. The most disturbing part of this revelation involves the deliberate suppression of key documents, those that would have established your legal claim to these assets. Family records that would have confirmed your position were either altered or destroyed to create a false narrative. What they presented to the court was a carefully crafted fiction designed to exclude you from what was rightfully yours. How often have you seen others rewrite the story of your life, erasing what should have been yours? This type of deception is not new. Martha Stewart, once thought to be ruined by insider trading accusations, found herself in a similar situation. False narratives were spread to discredit her, but she stood firm and, in the end, cleared her name. Like her, you too will rise above the lies and reclaim your truth. Nelson Mandela, who endured decades of imprisonment and the suppression of his true story, fought through adversity. Despite the false stories written about him, his truth and legacy ultimately prevailed. Oprah Winfrey, often facing public scrutiny and false accusations, never allowed deception to define her. Through each trial, she emerged stronger, showing that no matter how deep the lies run, they can never outweigh the power of truth. As the layers of this conspiracy continue to unravel, know that the truth will prevail, and those who sought to keep you from your rightful inheritance will face the consequences of their actions. The time for justice is now, and the legacy that was always meant to be yours will soon be returned to you. Chosen one, what was once presented to the court as a modest estate to be managed has now been revealed for what it truly is, a vast fortune that certain family members were determined to control exclusively. The lawyer's confession has opened the door to financial records that, for the first time, expose the true magnitude of what was kept hidden from you. What you were told was about protecting your interests and ensuring the proper management of limited resources was, in fact, about greed. They sought to control wealth that, at least in part, was always meant to be yours. The Lord detests dishonest scales, but accurate weights find favor with him. Proverbs 11:1. The truth of what was concealed is now coming to light, and justice is on the horizon. The full extent of this deception is truly staggering. These hidden assets weren't simply mismanaged, they were deliberately concealed to ensure that only a few could benefit from them. Some of these assets go back generations, part of a family legacy meant to be shared, yet kept from you and others. How many times have you felt that something rightfully yours was kept just beyond reach, leaving you to wonder why the universe seemed so stacked against you? A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. Proverbs 22:1. True wealth is not just about what is amassed for one person, but what is shared with the ones who matter. Your rightful place in this legacy is now being restored. The confession reveals the elaborate efforts made to keep these assets hidden. Shell companies were created to obscure ownership. Transactions were funneled through multiple accounts to obscure their origin and destination. And legal structures were specifically designed to confuse and prevent the clear identification of rightful ownership. How many times have you felt the complexity of a situation so overwhelming, only to realize that the pieces were there all along, just hidden in plain sight? The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. Proverbs 21:5. The rushed deception of those who thought they could escape the consequences has now caught up with them. Their hastily constructed plans are now unraveling under the weight of the truth. Perhaps the most painful revelation is the suppression of key documents. Documents that would have established your legal claim to these assets. Family records that could have confirmed your rightful place were either deliberately altered or destroyed, leaving a false narrative in their wake. The truth is powerful and it prevails. Proverbs 12:19. The truth, which was hidden in the shadows, is now breaking free. It cannot be contained any longer, and the false story they constructed around you is falling apart. The journey to uncover this deception is not unique to you. Many great individuals have faced similar betrayals, but ultimately triumphed. Steve Jobs, for example, was once ousted from the company he founded, Apple. Yet he returned, more determined than ever, rebuilding Apple into one of the most valuable companies in the world. His story is a testament to resilience in the face of betrayal, showing that the truth will always find its way back. Similarly, Angelina Jolie, despite facing countless personal challenges and being under public scrutiny, used her platform for humanitarian work, exposing injustices around the world and standing firm in her values. Walt Disney also faced rejection early in his career, with many telling him that his ideas were impossible. But through sheer persistence and belief in his vision, he changed the entertainment industry forever. Like these individuals, you too will rise above the deceit and claim your rightful place. As you move forward, know that this path was always yours to walk. You were never meant to follow the crowd, to fit into the mold others tried to impose on you. The righteous man walks in his integrity. Blessed are his children after him. Proverbs 27. You are walking in integrity, and that integrity is what will lead you to the inheritance that has been hidden from you. You are unstoppable, unshakable, and untouchable, because your journey is guided by truth, and truth is the most powerful force in the universe. The wealth, the legacy, and the justice that was meant for you will soon be yours. The world may try to hide it, but in the end, truth will always prevail. Chosen one, have you ever wondered how long it will take for justice to fully reveal itself, to rise above the deception and lies that have surrounded you? Justice moves with deliberate purpose, and though its course may seem slow, once it begins, it carries an unstoppable momentum. The wheels of legal accountability are now set in motion, and the subpoena being prepared is the formal acknowledgement by the court that a grave injustice has taken place. It serves as an official recognition that those responsible must be held accountable. For the mountains may depart and the hills be removed, but my steadfast love shall not depart from you. Isaiah 54:10. The truth, no matter how deeply buried or obscured, will eventually come to light, and justice will have its day. The subpoena is not for you, chosen one. Instead, it will reach the doorsteps of those who orchestrated the conspiracy, the family members who falsely claimed to act out of concern for you while secretly pursuing their own interests, the legal professionals who betrayed their oath to uphold justice, and the court officials who abused their positions of trust for personal gain. Can you feel the weight of this moment? The very ones who tried to manipulate and deceive will now be forced to answer for their actions. For the Lord watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. Psalm 1:6. The Lord has seen all that has transpired, and now the truth will shine through, exposing those who thought they could act in the shadows. This subpoena will require these individuals to appear before the court, not as accusers, but as the accused. They will be compelled to testify under oath about their actions. Documents, communications, and financial records will be demanded, all of which will further expose the depths of their deceit. How many times have you felt like your voice was ignored, your truth buried, while those who wronged you were allowed to continue unchecked? The mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life, but the mouth of the wicked conceals violence. Proverbs 10:11. But now the truth will be set free, and the lies they've concealed will no longer hold any power over you. This is your moment of vindication, and the truth that has been suppressed for so long will finally be heard. The legal process ahead will not be quick. Cases of such complexity rarely are, and there will certainly be attempts to delay, deflect, and minimize the significance of the wrongdoing. Those named in the subpoena will likely engage their own legal counsel, challenging the validity of the lawyer's confession, attempting to create alternative narratives, and questioning the evidence presented. They may try to create confusion, hoping to muddy the waters of truth. But despite their best efforts, the truth is already in motion. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. Even in these trying moments, know that you are not alone in this battle. The Lord stands by you, and His strength will carry you through. In these proceedings, you can expect formal hearings where the evidence will be presented. There will likely be attempts to reach settlements as those accused try to avoid the public nature of a trial. However, these efforts will not stop the truth from coming to light. In the courtroom, there will be intense legal arguments with those accused trying to minimize their role in the conspiracy. But the foundation for justice has already been laid. The documentary evidence, along with the lawyer's confession, forms an unshakable foundation upon which the truth will stand. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. The truth is the light that cannot be extinguished, no matter how hard others try to keep it hidden. The days of shadows and deceit are over. Justice is on its way. As these proceedings unfold, consider the journey of others who faced similar battles. Oprah Winfrey, for example, faced years of criticism and accusations from those who sought to undermine her career. But instead of succumbing to the pressure, Oprah used her voice to speak truth and rise above the challenges. She stood firm in her authenticity and continued to build an empire based on her values. Her resilience in the face of constant scrutiny mirrors your own journey, the strength to overcome lies and stand tall. Similarly, Steve Jobs, during the early days of Apple, was dismissed by many who believed his vision for a personal computer company was doomed to fail. Despite being ousted from the company he founded, Jobs returned with a stronger vision, leading Apple to revolutionize industries and prove the naysayers wrong. His ability to rise after being pushed down is a reminder that no matter the setback, truth, vision, and resilience always find a way to overcome. Mahatma Gandhi, faced with overwhelming oppression and injustice, never wavered in his commitment to non-violent resistance. Despite years of being vilified and imprisoned, his truth about freedom and justice led to the independence of India. Like these figures, you too will rise above the betrayal and claim your rightful place. As the truth continues to emerge and justice moves forward, remember that you are walking a path that has been set for you, just like those who have paved the way before you. The righteous will flourish like a palm tree. They will grow like a cedar of Lebanon. Psalm 92:12. You will rise as they did, because justice, guided by truth, will not be denied. The path may be long, but it is clear. The falsehoods will be exposed, and what was once stolen from you will be restored. No longer will you walk in the shadows. The truth will light your way to victory, and those who tried to deceive will face the consequences of their actions. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. This is the time for your truth to be heard and justice to be done. Will you walk this path with the strength and courage of those who have faced their own trials, knowing that the truth will ultimately prevail? Chosen one, have you ever wondered how far-reaching the consequences of deception can be when it is exposed? The repercussions for those involved in this conspiracy will stretch far beyond the immediate legal proceedings. The lawyer's career, once a respected pillar of the legal community, is now effectively over. Disbarment is almost certain, as the full details of their confession will be presented to the Bar Association. The violation of professional ethics and the deliberate abuse of their position as an officer of the court leave no other course of action. But disbarment is only the beginning. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life in Christ Jesus our Lord. Romans 6:23. The sins of these individuals will lead to their downfall, and justice will prevail. The ramifications extend far beyond losing their professional status. Criminal charges are being considered for multiple participants in this scheme: falsification of documents, perjury and sworn testimony, conspiracy to commit fraud, and misappropriation of assets. These are not minor offenses but serious crimes that carry the potential for significant fines and even imprisonment. Can you feel the weight of the law now closing in on those who sought to deceive you? The actions of those involved will have consequences, and they will be held accountable for what they have done. Beyond the criminal charges, the conspirators face the possibility of civil lawsuits. They may be required to pay financial compensation, not just for the tangible losses you suffered, but for the emotional distress, the harm to your reputation, and the years you spent fighting against a system that was manipulated to work against you. Have you ever thought about the emotional toll this has taken on you? The years that were robbed while you fought a battle that was not of your making. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147, verse 3. Though the wounds may feel deep, know that healing is on the horizon, as the truth unfolds and justice is served. Perhaps the most ironic development, however, is what is beginning to happen among the conspirators themselves. As the weight of their legal jeopardy becomes undeniable, the once solid unity that bound them together is starting to fracture. Family members who once worked in concert to protect their interests are already attempting to distance themselves from the actions of the lawyer. Those who were peripheral to the core conspiracy are beginning to cooperate with investigators, hoping to minimize their own involvement. Have you ever watched as those who once appeared united began to unravel when their secrets were exposed? The wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. Proverbs 28:1. The courage to stand in the face of truth will reveal who was truly complicit, and those who sought to escape justice will find it impossible to outrun their guilt. The lawyer's confession has already named specific individuals as the primary architects of this scheme, and now these conspirators are scrambling to create alternative narratives, trying to shift blame and minimize their role in the deception. The family unity they claim to be protecting has already been shattered, not by your pursuit of justice, but by their own deception being exposed to the light of truth. How many times have we seen people protect their lies by claiming it was all for the greater good, only to have their motives revealed? Nothing is covered up that will not be revealed, or hidden that will not be known. Luke 12:2. The truth has a way of breaking through even the strongest barriers, and the deception they worked so hard to build is now coming apart. Consider the example of Jeff Bezos, who, when starting Amazon, was repeatedly told that the idea would fail and faced immense opposition from those who were threatened by his vision. Yet he rose above the doubts and obstacles, eventually building one of the largest and most influential companies in the world. Bezos's resilience proves that even when others try to suppress your success, truth and perseverance lead to ultimate victory. Similarly, Serena Williams, often subjected to harsh criticism and public scrutiny, fought for every victory on and off the court. Despite the challenges, she rose to become one of the greatest athletes of all time, showing that no amount of negativity can stop someone who is destined for greatness. Finally, Nelson Mandela, who spent years imprisoned under a regime that sought to break him, emerged not only as a free man, but as a global symbol of reconciliation and justice. Mandela's fight for freedom and equality, despite decades of imprisonment, exemplifies how even the most oppressive conspiracies can be undone by the power of truth and resilience. As the truth continues to emerge and justice moves forward, remember that you are walking a path that has been set for you, just like these great individuals who faced adversity with unwavering courage. The righteous will flourish like a palm tree, they will grow like a cedar of Lebanon. Psalm 92:12. You too will rise above the lies and claim your rightful place, just as these figures did. The road ahead may still be long, but it is clear. The falsehoods will be exposed, and what was once stolen from you will be restored. No longer will you walk in the shadows. The truth will light your way to victory, and those who tried to deceive will face the consequences of their actions. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. This is the time for your truth to be heard and justice to be done. Will you walk this path with the strength and courage of those who have faced their own trials, knowing that the truth will ultimately prevail? Chosen one, the financial penalties that will likely follow in the wake of this conspiracy will be substantial. In addition to compensatory damages for the actual losses you've suffered, the court may impose punitive damages, specifically designed to send a clear message and deter similar conduct in the future. These penalties will not simply serve as a means of compensation for your personal harm, but will stand as a warning to others that such behavior will not go unpunished. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Galatians 6:7. The time of reckoning is here, and those who have engaged in deceit will face the consequences of their actions. The hidden assets once deliberately concealed from you and others will now be subject to strict court supervision. Every financial transaction, every hidden document designed to obscure ownership will be systematically unwound, exposing the full scope of their deception. Have you ever wondered how long it would take for the truth to finally break free from the shackles that others placed on it? The Lord is a refuge for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. Psalm 9:9. The time for oppression and secrecy is over, and those who once thought their actions were protected by darkness will now be forced to face the light of justice. The ripple effects of this conspiracy extend far beyond the primary participants. Legal firms that fail to supervise their members properly may face their own investigations. Court administrations that fail to maintain proper oversight may undergo procedural reviews. This case is not only about holding the wrongdoers accountable, but about restoring faith in the system itself. Have you ever witnessed how a single act of injustice can affect the integrity of an entire system? For the Lord examines the righteous, but the wicked, those who love violence, he hates with a passion. Psalm 11:5. The effects of this exposure will lead to systemic changes that will prevent similar abuses from happening in the future. In this sense, justice in your case serves not just your individual situation, but the greater integrity of the entire legal system. As these legal proceedings unfold, it's critical to take specific steps to ensure the path to justice remains clear and unobstructed. First, and most importantly, is the matter of documentation. While the lawyer's confession provides a strong foundation, supporting evidence is crucial in solidifying the case. Every communication you receive related to this matter should be preserved. Emails, letters, legal notices. All of these must be organized chronologically and kept in a secure location. Copies should be maintained separately as a precaution. Have you ever thought about how these small details, though they seem insignificant, can ultimately make the difference between success and failure in a legal battle? Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. Proverbs 16:3. Your careful attention to preserving and organizing this documentation will serve as a testament to your commitment to justice. If you are contacted by any of the individuals named in the lawyer's confession, it's important that you document these interactions thoroughly, but avoid engaging directly. Direct all communications through proper legal channels. This ensures that you are protected from potential accusations of improper influence and that every interaction is part of the official record. How many times have we felt the urge to respond immediately to someone who seeks to undermine us, only to regret it later? The integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. Proverbs 11:3. Every step you take should be guided by integrity, ensuring that you remain on the right path throughout this process. Your own recollections are just as valuable as any other form of evidence. Consider keeping a journal where you detail significant events, conversations, and meetings related to this matter. Include dates, locations, the individuals present, and the substance of what was discussed. While memory alone may not constitute formal legal evidence, these contemporaneous notes will serve as vital references when you are called upon for formal testimony. For nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest, nor is anything secret that will not be known and come to light. Luke 8:17. Your memory, aided by the notes you take, will be crucial when the time comes to testify and help clarify key moments in this case. Be prepared for the possibility that those accused will attempt to reframe the narrative. They may try to question your motives or character, especially when they realize the gravity of the situation. Their desperation to avoid the consequences of their actions may lead to attacks on your credibility. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. In moments of pressure, trust that the evidence now coming to light will speak louder than any attempt to undermine you. Allow the truth to do the work, knowing that it will always rise to the surface, no matter how hard others try to keep it buried. In moments like these, it's important to remember the stories of others who faced similar trials. Consider Warren Buffett, who faced enormous criticism early in his career for his investment strategies. Despite being written off by many, Buffett remained focused on his principles, eventually becoming one of the wealthiest and most respected figures in the business world. His story teaches us that no matter the doubt or opposition, sticking to your values and the truth will bring success. Similarly, Sheryl Sandberg, the former COO of Facebook, faced the sudden and tragic loss of her husband, but through her resilience and strength, she became a voice for women in leadership and grief. Her story shows how overcoming personal and professional adversity can lead to profound change. Lastly, J.K. Rowling, despite being rejected by multiple publishers early in her career, persisted with her writing and eventually brought the world the Harry Potter series, which became a cultural phenomenon. Rowling's story is one of defying the odds, facing rejection, and trusting that the truth of her work would ultimately find an audience. These individuals, like you, faced immense challenges and opposition, but they persevered. The truth and strength of their character led them to success, and so too will it for you. The righteous will flourish like a palm tree. They will grow like a cedar of Lebanon. Psalm 92, verse 12. You are walking a path of truth, and with each step, justice will be served, and those who sought to deceive you will be held accountable. The evidence is on your side, and the truth will ultimately prevail. Chosen one, have you ever felt the weight of an ongoing legal battle, knowing that while the wheels of justice are turning, the emotional toll can be overwhelming? It's important to remember that your personal well-being must remain a priority throughout this process. Legal proceedings, even when moving in your favor, often bring stress and emotional strain. But how can you ensure that you stay strong and resilient as this journey continues? One key is to build a strong support system. a network of trusted individuals who understand your experience and can help carry some of the weight with you. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. 1 Peter 5:7. Don't carry the burden alone. There are people ready to support you through this. Have you thought about seeking professional help to manage the stress that inevitably comes with long legal battles? Therapists, counselors, or even stress management experts can provide the tools you need to navigate the emotional strain. A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. Proverbs 14:30. How might your mental and emotional peace impact your ability to handle the ups and downs of this process? Maintaining calm will ultimately strengthen your resolve to keep moving forward. These professionals can guide you to stay grounded and focused on the long-term goal, justice. As you move through the legal proceedings, how will you maintain perspective on the process itself? It is essential to recognize that there will be moments of progress followed by frustrating delays. The legal process moves at its own pace, often slower than seems reasonable to those seeking justice. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him. Lamentations 3:25. How can you remind yourself to be patient when the road ahead seems long? Patience, though difficult, serves your interests better than frustration. It's important to remember that every part of the process is bringing you closer to a rightful resolution, even if it feels like it's moving slowly. In moments of frustration, have you considered how important it is to be cautious about sharing the details of your case? What you share with family, friends, or even on social media could be used against you in court. Could something you say, even in private, affect your case? Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. Proverbs 17:28. Until the matter is fully resolved, discretion will protect your interests and ensure that nothing you say can be twisted or misused against you. And most importantly, can you see how the trajectory of this case has fundamentally changed? What was once an uphill struggle against a system manipulated to work against you is now an orderly legal process, with the full machinery of justice working to uncover the truth. The Lord works righteousness and justice for all the oppressed. Psalm 103:6. How does it feel to know that the burden has shifted to those who perpetrated the deception? The pressure is now on them, not on you, and justice is beginning to work in your favor. As you reflect on these developments, how might the experiences of others who have faced similar challenges help you stay resilient? Consider Maya Angelou, who faced overwhelming odds early in her life, surviving abuse, overcoming discrimination, and still emerging as one of the most powerful voices for justice in the world. Despite it all, she remained focused on her mission to create change, proving that even in the darkest moments, truth will shine through. Similarly, Tim Cook, after taking over Apple from Steve Jobs, faced intense scrutiny and doubt. Yet, Cook steered Apple to new heights, showing that when we are grounded in our values, success can follow even after the toughest challenges. Oprah Winfrey, despite facing rejection and public criticism, became an icon not only for her media success, but for her commitment to kindness and integrity. Her journey reminds us that the truth of who we are will ultimately prevail, no matter the obstacles. As you continue your journey, remember that the righteous will flourish like a palm tree, they will grow like a cedar of Lebanon. Psalm 92:12. These individuals faced adversity, but their resilience ultimately led them to greatness. Like them, you too will rise above the lies and deceptions. Every step you take brings you closer to your rightful victory. When you feel discouraged, look to these examples of resilience and remember that the truth, no matter how hidden, always finds its way to the surface. Beloved chosen one, the path that has been set before you has not been an easy one. The obstacles placed in your way were intentional, designed to test your resilience and resolve. But now, the destination is finally in sight. The lawyer's confession has set in motion a process that cannot be easily stopped, a process that will inevitably lead to the truth being uncovered and justice being served. Despite the imperfections of the legal system, it holds within it mechanisms for self-correction. When deception is revealed and those responsible step forward to acknowledge their wrongdoings, the system begins to heal itself and fulfill its promise of justice. As the coming months unfold, there will still be challenges ahead. Legal proceedings demand patience, perseverance, and unwavering faith. Those who have hidden the truth for so long will not easily relinquish their control or accept accountability for their actions. They will attempt legal maneuvers, fabricate new doubts, and do everything they can to stall the process. But the foundation has irrevocably shifted. What was once built on lies is now crumbling under the weight of the truth. The hidden assets are being revealed, the inheritance that was rightfully yours is being recognized, and the legal manipulations that were used against you are being unraveled. Your persistence has been vindicated, chosen one. Those moments when you questioned yourself, when the weight of the world made you wonder if you were misunderstanding the situation, can now be seen for what they were. The natural response to a deliberately constructed illusion meant to make you doubt your own perception. But you knew the truth, and you held to it, even when every effort was made to shake your faith in it. Now, that truth is being affirmed through proper legal channels, and the restoration that you have long awaited is coming to fruition. The resolution, though, will not come as a single dramatic moment. Rather, it will emerge gradually through a series of legal decisions, court rulings, settlements, and judgments. These will collectively restore what was stolen from you and hold those accountable for the deception they tried to impose. The assets will be returned to their rightful place. The legal record will be corrected, and your family's history and inheritance rights will be officially acknowledged. Those responsible for the conspiracy will face the consequences of their actions through the very legal system they sought to manipulate. The news of this victory is not the end of your journey, but rather the beginning of its final chapter. Justice, long delayed, is finally finding its voice. The lawyer has confessed to everything, and the court is now officially aware of the wrongdoing. The subpoena is being prepared, and vindication is no longer just a distant hope. It is a reality that is quickly approaching. I want to thank you for being part of this journey, for believing in the truth, and for allowing me to walk with you through these moments of challenge and triumph. Whether you choose to donate through Super Thanks or not, I am deeply grateful for your presence, your support, and the energy you bring to this shared experience. Your belief in justice, in what is rightfully yours, is the driving force behind the changes that are now unfolding. May you continue to be blessed with strength, wisdom, and peace as you move forward. May justice continue to guide your path, and may you be surrounded by support and love as you take each step. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Numbers 6:24-25. You are not alone on this journey, and the truth will always find its way to the surface.